What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, however, I wanted to talk on this whole situation with David Dobrik. And is it possible for like everybody in Vlog Squad to be forgiven and to move on with their lives, and overall just look past this situation? Possibly, possibly. But at the same time, like I say it's like a high percentage of a possibly. Like it's not like they're done, they're canceled, their careers is over with. Because I feel like a lot of people seem to forget that the Logan Paul situation. And I'm not trying to bring it up in a negative way, but I'm just saying like anything is possible. Like for those saying that it would be impossible for them to come back from all of this, the word impossible has just been excluded out of my vocabulary. Like I can't really look at that word and be like that, has a standpoint in this world and things. Like it honestly at the end of the day doesn't. Like if David and the rest of the Vlog Squad, if they really want to come back and they really want to, show that they're changed people and continue posting content for everyone, they can. I know for a fact that they can. So I just don't want that motivation to like go away and disappear, because I know how it is to like have no motivation to do videos and to do all of that stuff and wanting to take breaks and all of that. I know how it feels, and it's a pretty rough feeling. But like in situations like this, like you have to answer for it. You can't overall like just look past it or think that it doesn't matter. Like nah, like you got to answer for this stuff. So anyways, for those that don't know the situation, so there's a lot going on. I feel like the two main people that's getting the fingers pointed at them is David Dobrik and his friend Dom. So starting with David had did some videos where he was making fun of his friend Big Nick, and also he had one of his friends named Seth make out with another one of his friends that's a man. Seth was under the impression that he was making out with a woman that's in the vlog group named Karina, but it was the first time he thought it was Karina, then the second time he just thought it was just some random women, but both times it was a member in there named Jason. So at the end of it, I know people ask me like, what would I do in that situation? I wouldn't even have done it in the first place. Like, why am I being blindfolded to make out with somebody? Then also like then she's like wearing a mask, or I think it was like she was either wearing a mask or Seth was blindfolded, and I'm like, I would not. I'm like, why is she wearing a mask and why am I being blindfolded? Like something just doesn't seem right here. It's kind of weird. Like I need to see that she put that costume on, and just something wouldn't have seemed right in that situation, in both situations. So but I guess like Seth was overall saying like he was okay with it. But that's the thing, like, to I guess like see two different outlooks on that. Like if he said he was okay with it, then there wasn't even no reason to like bring up the situation and try to like use that against him. But there's that. But if he wasn't okay with it, then I know people are saying like, but he said he was. Like, yeah, people say that because they realize like the clout that another person has. So it's like, if he would have came out and spoke against David, people would have just been like, oh, he's clout chasing, he's mad, he's this, he's that. And at the time of that video, which wasn't really too long ago, you would think like, things wouldn't have changed that much throughout the time that video had happened. But yeah, over the time, like people take stuff like that seriously now. So they're like, consent is like a big thing that takes place out of this whole situation. So yeah, Seth, I'm like, yeah, you should have overall been like, hey, something just doesn't seem right. But, if you was cool with it, then you was cool with it. But if you wasn't, then yes, I can understand why you say you was at the time, but wasn't as the time progressed on. It's like that with a lot, even in the girl situations with Dom. Like, they, at the time, were saying that, oh, it's all right, like, it's okay, but that stuff is traumatizing, and I don't think people understand that. And I would imagine in Seth's situation, you had people like reaching out to you all like, you made out with Jason, like straight bullying him over that stuff. So I feel like that's probably another thing that should have to take place out of this. It's like that's why I was saying, like, this like internet bullying stuff. I said this, I made an episode about this not too long ago, saying that this like trolling, bullying, all that crap, it needs to stop. Like, you need to just overall, people out there that constantly is like just bothering a person over some dumb stuff, it's like you need to leave them alone. You need to leave them alone, because that stuff would traumatize them. And I would imagine that if people wasn't, writing crazy comments to Seth or to any of these guys, like overall, like they wouldn't be on social media, like, telling their story or, whatever. But it's like overall, it's like, yeah, people, they just, this like trolling / bullying stuff just needs to stop. Like, cause I'm getting tired of seeing it. So anyways, but yeah, the Seth situation, that's the thing though. I'm like, I want to see it as like Seth, overall is like, it's messed up what happened to him. But it's with him, because there's a video that he did, and that was like one of the reasons why I unfollowed him from social media. And I don't know if he was overall doing that to get back at David or what, but he did this video, and I guess it would make sense, since David did what he did, and that's why he did what he did. So I guess at the end of the day, it does make sense, why everything does come in a full circle. But he did this video where he was pretending to be in a phone conversation with Liza, and he was just overall like being downright rude to her. And I know people were like getting on Liza because they were saying like David was cracking these jokes back in the day. And yeah, there's like people was like, that ain't funny. Like, that's, Liza should have came out and said something. So maybe, like, now thinking about it, I'm like, Seth might have his reasons on why he did what he did and stuff. But at the time being, I was like, I seen that video. He acted like he was having faking a phone conversation with Liza, and then he was just being like rude in the video and stuff. I unfollowed him, and I was just all like, bro, why is you, for what? Like, what is that doing for you and stuff? Like, I'm like, you shouldn't have to like do things like that to, get some followers or get some likes or any of that crap. Like, it should just overall, like, yeah, it's stuff like that where I'm like, I don't really support that. But, it's crazy. And I know people are going to probably ask, like, no, I don't support the video that David did, like, at the time being, so, you just watched it. But even back then, I was all like, I felt bad for Seth, because I was like, dang, man, that's messed up. Like, I would not want to be in a situation like that and things. Like, and I definitely, if it really would have been that bad, like, because in the video, Seth just, like, he didn't seem like that he was, like, upset about it. But me, I had been like, no, man, that's not cool that you got, that you're doing that. Like, I probably would have got a little hostile. This ain't on some things I know people will be thinking, like, oh, like, what's wrong with making out with a man? Like, I'm like, hey, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. I'm a completely different person, okay? It doesn't mean that I'm homophobic. It doesn't mean that I don't like gay people. I'm just saying, me, I don't have no plans or ideas or whatever to make out with a man. So I'm like, in a situation like that, I probably would have got hostile and some things would have gotten broken, and that's when they would have realized I was being serious, and that video probably would have never seen the light of day. So I'm like, I just think in situations like that, where if it really did, I don't know, I think I'm just different. If I feel like that there is something that is traumatizing in my life, like, I will, speak on it or talk about it, to just overall, let people know, like, hey, you need to chill on that. So anyways, but yeah, I'm like, I shut that down all right then and there. I think that's what more people, need to start doing in like when you got friends out there where it's like, and that's what's like, talking on David, where it's like, he was doing it for entertainment, like, aspect of the whole situation. Like, he was doing this because he's like, oh, this is gonna entertain. Like, he had like an entertainment high. And that's what I've been saying in videos, and that's what I've been saying, like, left and right, that's, like, what was going through his mind, like, is this going to entertain my fans? And, he's just trying to push out all the content that he can, do all the different things that he can, and overall, he wasn't realizing, like, people was being affected by this whole situation, so he had to overall, like, pretty much just not pay attention to other people to really just focus on what was going to entertain his fans, so yeah, it's messed up that was his mindset. I would imagine now, like, his mindset has changed, and he's not overall under that impression anymore, where it's like, oh, fans come first, and then everybody that's being. Because my thing is like, I feel like that I'm not you know, in a place where I'm gonna be collaborating with a lot of people. So of course, like fan supporters, they come first. But when other people, when they start like being in my videos and stuff, I'm gonna be like, hey, like, you know, it's you know, I'm overall like, you know, since you're a part of this, I need to know how you feel about certain things and jokes and all that. Cause you know, I'm not gonna say. My thing is like, I'm not gonna say anything to my friends or do anything to my. It is raining hard outside, but overall, I'm not gonna say or do anything to my friends that put them in a situation where they don't feel comfortable. So, you know, you have to do that. But anyways, yeah, then with Big Nick, like, you know, I definitely, if I was Big Nick, like, because for those that don't know, if you guys don't know anybody in this situation, then yeah, I would recommend watching some videos. But with Big Nick, so Big Nick has like a disability or something where he's overall like short, and I don't know like the exact like name of it, but I'm not trying to say anything that's going to come off as offensive. But he overall does like have a disability that makes him short and things. And so David was constantly cracking jokes about that, constantly cracking other jokes. But that was a thing though where I'm like, that situation is a little bit confusing to me because that was literally I've been following like pretty much everybody from Vlog Squad, like David, Jason Nash, Big Nick, who are some other members? Alex, he didn't, you know, wasn't really doing anything crazy in the vlogging videos, but Big Nick on the other hand, like to speak on him, like he was doing videos back then that was overall like talking on his height and stuff, like because he would do these videos where like somebody would throw a tennis ball at him, and then when the camera would focus on Big Nick, then it's this like big giant ball. Or if they threw like a glass at him or something, then the glass was like crazy big or something, or a spoon, and it was like the spoon was normal. It was normal for somebody like my size, but then for him, like it would be like 10 times bigger. So seeing that, it was just like, okay, well that's his thing. Like, you know, he talks on his height and stuff, and I think even in David's videos he talked on his height. So that's why I'm like, I don't really know. Like, I guess like I'm trying to sit down. I guess maybe in a situation where I'm like, if I'm cracking like black jokes and then somebody else were to crack like a black joke, I guess it would be awkward. But I would tell a person like, you know, hey, that's my thing. Like, you know, like that's just something that I do because I'm obviously talking on myself. Like, if you want to crack a joke about me, just tell me first. I'll see if it's okay, and you know, just be like, okay, how do I feel after you said this joke? Do I feel comfortable or do I feel uncomfortable? But my thing is like, hey, look, I'm a no filter type person. So if you do say something about black people, I'm not gonna be like the gatekeeper for black jokes. Like, nah, anybody that's watching that video that's black, I'm just gonna be like, hey, look, like I really don't have a filter when it comes to jokes. Just don't come around me just being racist. You know, like that's it. Like that's all I, you know, want. Yeah, that, like, you know, don't do no jokes where it's like, oh, I gotta say the N-word every sentence or conversation and all that. And yeah, overall I'm like, hey, everything should be fine at the end of the day. So I think that's like my, because I'm like, it's more so like it wouldn't really hurt me. It actually wouldn't hurt me at all. Like, do you know how many times on the regular where I get called the N-word on YouTube and all that crap? Excuse me. So yeah, I'm like, like N-word, you know, comments don't really. It's just more so I'm like, hey, looking out for your health. Don't say the N-word, all right? Just, you know, be aware of that, all right? So, but anyways, but yeah, like the jokes did get to Big Nick, and he overall stopped appearing in David's videos. So David apologized to him. He apologized to Seth. Now, like the crazy stuff. Well, I mean, all the situations are crazy, but then this one particular situation, it was like, wow, like, bro, I'm surprised. You know, that's giving it like the 3-strike rule, bro. Like 3 strikes and you out on this. Like, but that's the thing though. Like, I do personally think that David can come back from this whole situation. So I'm not gonna say his career is like done and over with, but I do feel like that it's going to take some time, of course. But he can come back from all of this. So David has a friend named Dom, and Dom was known for cracking like sexual jokes, messing with women and stuff. Like that was his thing. So there was a video where Dom was gonna, I guess, have like this like a big like orgy or some crap or something, like I don't know. Like Dom was gonna do some freaky stuff with these girls, and the one of the, I guess, like there's alcohol came in place, and one of the girls got crazy drunk, and Dom took advantage of her. And so yeah, Dom, the article, it did like come out like at some point in time, like years ago, like it was being talked about back then, but then it really started getting talked about now. And yeah, those guys, they all had to like come out and talk about it. Like there's people being affected in this situation, like Jeff, for an example. Like he was being affected by the whole situation, and like he was like, that was, I was confused on the Jeff's like placement in this, but he apologized. David apologized. I think Dom, he apologized too. I really don't know what happened, because I was like, I remember I unfollowed Dom, Big Nick, Seth, who else? Yeah, it was quite a few of those guys I unfollowed. So I really don't know what they had to say about it. But yeah, Dom on the other hand, it was like, dang, bro, like you got caught up in this. Like with Dom, I'm like, I do hope and pray the best for him. Like even though he did what he did, because I did say this in the video that I recorded talking on the situation, that I haven't posted it. I don't think I posted the video just yet, because the strike that I have, I do plan on posting on my backup channel, TMossBoss Extended. So stay tuned for that. I think it was in Jeff's apology video. But anyways, but no, I did say that there was that there's this preacher slash pastor named Joyce Myers, and she always talks on her personal life, and how her father did some things to her. And yeah, it's a crazy, every time I hear it, it's like, it's always crazy to think like she had like that power to forgive him, and to overall, like, I think she even, I don't even know if her father is still alive today, but I think she did say, hold on for a second, I'm currently looking up her name to see. Okay, there's a Wikipedia. Early life. She was born. Yeah. To this day, she speaks. They don't really say anything about if her father is alive or not. But overall, like, her father did do some things to her, and she forgave him. She always speaks on how she forgave him, and now she overall, like, just, I don't know, like, if he's alive or not, but yeah, she has said like numerous times that she did forgive him, like, after all of it and stuff, like, or after it was done and over with. So I imagine, like, if the girls, if they haven't, like, and it's really up to them whether they want to or not. Like, that's the thing though, and that's why I remember my supervisor told me that a person can apologize, you can forgive them, but the damage has been done, and at the end of the day, it's really up to you on how you want this person to be in your life still. So if you want to be, my thing is that I feel like that the one thing that you can do that would just give you like complete power over this person, I mean, like, and not like using your power to your ability, but just to overall have it where they just earned a respect for you, like where they know that, okay, like, you're somebody to like not mess with. Like, obviously, yes, keep your guard up fully. If you are gonna have them like still in your life and things, keep your guard up at all times, even if they're not still in your life. They might be trying to like plot, like, I don't know, I'm a little bit of a paranoid person, so I'm like, regardless or not, if they're in your life still, like, always keep your guard up. But what I overall, like, I can't really speak on these girls, but what I would like to imagine is that they're overall going to be in a better point in time in their life, and holding that grudge against Dom, like, for what he did, they're going to be bigger than that. They're going to be so much more bigger than that, to where it's like holding a grudge on, like, because it's like, okay, like, the worst of your life has happened. Now it's all about the best in your life and how you're going to overall, like, overcome any obstacle that comes. Because I feel like in a situation like that, that was like probably like one of the worst things that can happen to you. And so now, like, now that you're just getting all this like love and things like from people all across the world, probably people reaching out to her, like saying like, "Hey, you not alone," telling their story, or just sending out some word of advice or some motivational stuff. Like overall, this girl is receiving like the best love that she possibly can get, and that's love from everyone. So overall, like, with Dom on the other hand, it's like I feel like it is gonna come to a point in time where Dom, if he hadn't already, like, he is gonna probably, well, I mean, probably did reach out, apologize, and but and I don't even know if she's holding. I don't know if she's holding a grudge right now. I mean, she is, she is. If she's not, she's not. But overall, like, it's gonna come to a point in time where she's like, hey, like, I ain't gonna hold that against you no more. So I mean, it happened, and she's overall just gonna be living the best time of her life. So it's like that's at the end of the day, that's all that matters. I feel like, rather than like keep bringing up this Dom situation, like let's just focus on like being there for her and just making her life like much more better and stuff. Like I think that's like the best thing that can possibly, because I know there is this one girl I went to school with. She talks at one point in time she was talking on her situation a lot, on how she was assaulted in a certain manner, and she talked on it, and it was something that was crazy. And I remember reading about it, and I was like, man, this is wild that stuff like this, like, people just be thinking, like, to just really talk on them two words, like SA, but assaulted, like, y'all know what I'm saying. But to talk on that, like, you gotta be a low point in your life to really just take advantage of somebody like that. I'm like, my thing is like, I can't say that I've been taken advantage of in that way, but I feel like at some points in times in my life, like, I have been taken advantage of, just because people know that I'm a nice person and know that I won't do anything in retaliation or to get back at them. And the one thing that I always think of is like, does that stuff like lingers in their head? Like, to have it where somebody takes advantage of you, like, does that stuff linger? Because, man, I'm telling you, it's like, hey, yo, look, like, just because I'm a nice person or just because I'm a trusting person doesn't mean that you could just be like, oh, well, I can, no, there ain't no thinking of all the things that you can know. I'm a person just like you, and I'm imagining if you were in my shoes, you would not be wanting that type of stuff to happen. So to speak on that, I'm all like, yeah, people need to stop doing that. I'm like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, if the person don't want to be with you in a sexual way, like, even in any way, if they don't want to be friends with you, move on, live your life, do other things that's not going to have you make an apology post or video whenever. And I don't even know, I don't know whatever, I can't remember whatever happened to that guy. But I'm like, it's stuff like that where I'm all like, I want to create like just a freaking, I don't know, like a vigilante team or something. As silly as it sounds, like, nah, like, just to know that stuff like that be happening and things, I'm like, just create like something where overall, like, people are just protected, like, stuff like this don't be happening to them or something. Just, I don't know, hire some like highly trained security guards where they got like some like legitimate like military, Navy, SEALs like type training, and just overall, like, we just be out there protecting people that be dealing with this on the regular and stuff. Because I'm like, man, it's messed up, at the end of the day. It's extremely messed up. So one of these days, I'm gonna probably end up doing some stuff like that, just to overall like protect women out there where this type of stuff happens to them. And I know people are gonna be like, oh, it happens to men too, and I ain't saying that it didn't, but I'm just saying, like, the majority of the times, like, it be happening to women. I see more women talk about this than a guy. So I'm like, maybe I'm just, friends with guys that can protect themselves and stuff. But I'm like, there's women out there where I'm like, I know there's been times like where women, they've told me that type of stuff. And I'm like, and it's especially women that I care for. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, like, it overall, like, any situation is messed up. But it's like, it just, it really, like, it's kind of like death in a way. Like, you see all these people die around you. It has no effect on you, but once when it happens to you, then it has an effect on you. And that's how it is with stuff like that. Like, I know there's been times they've told me that a guy touched them in an inappropriate way, and I'm like, man, it's people that I'm like extremely close with, like, when they tell you stuff like that, I'm like, man, You just probably you lucky I'm not there because you definitely would have seen the show. Like if you yeah, I'm like it's stuff like that where I'm like, man, it's messed up. But anyways, but yeah, it's prayers out to everybody, the women, Dom, David, Jeff, because I know Jeff, he was getting hit pretty hard with this. Yeah, prayers out to everybody. But at the end of the day, like that's like to answer that question, like can they come back from all of this? And like I was saying, I think I can't because I did 2 takes of this, and I can't remember if I said it in the beginning of this episode or in the first take. But Logan Paul came back from his situation where he did that Forest video, and I was like, bruh, like that's where it was like saying like that entertainment stuff will get to your head, and you ain't even thinking about the consequences of like what will happen when you post that video and stuff. So he can come back from it. David, just like Logan Paul, like he did what he needed to do. And I feel like Logan Paul was in it, like when Logan Paul was posting like his vlog videos and stuff, like last year and the year prior, like I honestly I became a fan. Like I remember I was a fan of Logan Paul back in the Vine days, and I just kind of like slowly progressed away from him. Then when I started seeing he was like doing these like videos like his brother, and I'm like, dang, man, like, you was on good track. And now what happened? Then he did that Forest video, and I was like, dang, man. And at the time being, I think I had to think about it saying, like, oh, yeah, his career is done. Like, he ain't coming back to YouTube. But then to just see, like, how much this man has grown throughout the time. Like, and just to overall see, like, now he's doing stuff at WrestleMania. He's doing stuff with WWE. Like, that's what I'm like, man. I'm really truly happy for Logan Paul, and I can't wait to say the same for David and the rest of those guys. Where it's like you see them in a much more better state in life. So hopefully it does happen. I do hope and pray the best for everybody involved in this situation. But anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And you know what? No, don't even. I always forget, like, when I do serious episodes, like, I try not to do that promo stuff. So, anyways, to anybody that's ever been, like, assaulted in a certain manner, whatever way, or, whatever, reach out, talk. There's hotlines, there's, people that you can contact and talk to. Don't be afraid to, talk to people. Get that stuff off your chest. That's honestly, being in my situations and stuff, like where it hasn't been nothing like of this extent, but things that have gotten to me mentally, having people to talk to can like really just make things better. So like definitely talk to people, get that stuff off your chest, and if they give you some hard hitting advice, take it. Like seriously, take it, because that honestly, the thing is, I don't think not too many people understand like that advice can really change your life. So take it. All right. So anyways, talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for listening, and peace.